I was 6 years old, I got my mom a beautiful chess box. I'd been saving my pocket money for months to buy it.
Look what I got you, Mommy. Happy birthday.
Mom looked at the box for a few seconds, then threw it on the floor and stomped on it. What a stupid gift. What am I supposed to do with this? Can't you ever be normal, like your sisters? And she threw it in the garbage. Just then, my 2 older sisters came running in and handed Mom their present. It was a mug with a picture of the 3 of them printed on it. I wasn't even in the picture. Mom gave them a tight hug and said it was the best birthday present ever. I burst into tears and shut myself up in my room. I took out my own chess set and started playing. Chess was my thing. I was obsessed with it. Dad had left us when we were little because he thought that marriage and kids was too much responsibility for him. I looked exactly like my dad, so Mom took out all her anger on me. Anything I did seemed to get on her nerves. Even my older sisters seemed to hate me, and they blamed me for everything. One time they failed all their exams, and they said it was my fault.
She always has company over to play chess, and they make so much noise. We weren't able to study for the tests.
What? Mom started shouting at me and said I had to clean their rooms for a month to make up for my poor sisters. I'd had enough. In your dreams, Mom. And I walked off and locked myself up in my room. I didn't come out for the next few days. I just kept playing chess alone. One day, when I was in the 3rd grade, I invited a friend over to my place. He was my chess partner at school. I was afraid my family would be rude to him, but they seemed delighted to have him over. My sisters ran to the store and came back with a huge basket of chocolates and toys for him. They were practically drooling over him, which is so gross.
Seriously? Why are you friends with Mia? She's such a loser.
Be our friend instead.
No. Be our brother and come live with us.
That's even better. He looked completely terrified and ran out of my house as fast as he could. I yelled at Mom and my sisters, but they said it was my fault, and every guy just left because of me. Turned out my family wasn't the only one who hated me. When I was in the 5th grade, our history teacher started off the lesson by saying, "Millions of years ago, when humans and dinosaurs used to live together, it was only safe for men to go out at night for food." Wait, what? I raised my hand. Ma'am, that's just not true. The teacher glared at me. What's not true? Dinosaurs and humans never coexisted. Of course they did. Haven't you seen all those movies where people are running away from the dinosaurs? That's fiction, ma'am. Humans actually came 64 million years after dinosaurs became extinct. Stop making things up. You're really rude. And I'm going to call your mom. When the teacher called her, Mom said she already knew I was a bad girl, and she was too busy to come and get me. Just send her home. She can walk. As I was packing up my stuff to leave, I was called into the principal's office. Oh no, was I in more trouble? Feeling really nervous, I went to the principal's office and found him beaming at me. Congratulations, Mia. You'll be bumped up a grade because you're a brilliant kid. I was thrilled. This was sure to make Mom happy. When I got home and told her, she jumped up from the couch in shock. Oh my God, this is the worst news ever. Am I going to have to buy you new books? I was so disappointed. Just as I was walking out of the room, I heard her say, "Mia, you know what? Education means nothing if you're not pretty like your sisters." Ugh, why did she have to be like this? I was moved up a grade and started spending more time at the local library. At least I got some peace and quiet there. One day, I saw a flyer on the board about a monthly chess competition, and I decided to participate. I was easily able to beat my competitor, and I won a small amount of money. Of course, I didn't tell anyone at home about the money I'd won. This was going to be my little secret. One day at the library, an old blind man came up to me. I'd often seen him here before, sitting alone. He smiled at me. "Wanna play chess with me, little hero?" I laughed and said I'd beat him easily. He simply said, "Try me." So I played with him, and to my shock, I lost. "You're talented, but you need more practice." After several months had passed and we had been playing together daily, the blind man said one day that I was ready. For what? "The international competition I've been preparing you for." I'd won more local competitions and had some money saved up. There was no way I was telling Mom where I was really going. I told her that Dad had contacted me and sent me a ticket to visit him. Whatever. Do you think I care about what you do? I went to the competition with the blind man and a few other competitors from my area. It was a really tough game, but I used all my wits and knowledge and won. And my prize was $200,000. When I stepped forward to collect my check, the organizers asked me my age, and then they refused to give me my money. They said I needed a legal guardian, and the blind man wasn't even related to me. Despite all my protests, they called my mom and said they'd transfer the money to her. When I got home that evening, Mom ran to me and smothered me with hugs and kisses. I knew she was just after my money. She'd made all my favorite things for dinner, and at the end of it, she brought out a huge chocolate cake with candles. But Mom, it's not even my birthday. Do I need a reason to celebrate my favorite daughter? Come now, darling. Blow out the candles. My sisters kept glaring at me all night like they wanted to eat me. They were really unhappy. The next night when I got back from the library, I saw a sleazy-looking guy in his 50s sitting on the couch. He took one look at me and said, "Oh my God, your mom really wasn't kidding. You're ugly." I felt really mad and told him to shut up and leave immediately. "Oh, ugly and rude? May God help your mama." He walked out of the house, slamming the door behind him. Just then, Mom came running into the lounge with a tray of drinks. Where did the man go? I told her he was really rude to me, so I'd told him to get lost. The tray went crashing from Mom's hands to the floor. "You what? Stupid girl, do you have any idea what you've done? That guy is a big-shot businessman who can turn us into the future Kardashians." I was horrified. I told her there was no way I was getting plastic surgeries done to make me look so fake. "Fine, your sisters will," I yelled at her. "You can't use my money to get those stupid surgeries." Stop being so melodramatic, honey. Just participate in another competition and win some more money. Simple. I threatened to call Dad and said I would sue her, but she just laughed like a maniac and said he'd probably forgotten all about his ugly daughter by now. I ran to my room and screamed into my pillow in anger. I hated her. Since my older sister Amanda was 19, she was legally allowed to have plastic surgeries. Her face looked so different now, I could no longer even recognize her, but Mom thought it was amazing. "Darling, you're going to make us so rich with that beautiful face. You look just like a Hollywood star." Amanda looked at her and said, "Yeah, I've been meaning to tell you. I'm going to be a Hollywood star. I've been offered a really great role in a huge movie." Mom looked beyond delighted. "Well, that's perfect. You'll make us all tons of money." Yeah, right, Mom. I'm leaving for good and don't expect a penny. Just forget you even have a daughter named Amanda." Just then, a black limousine drove up outside our house, and with a bye, Amanda hopped in and left. Mom stood there with her mouth open, then turned to me, glaring. "You better participate in a new competition and make more money soon, or else." No way. And with that, I walked off to my room. I was quite surprised when Katya followed me a little later on. She said it was really unfair how Mom had wasted all my money on Amanda. Her eyes fell on my chess set, and she asked me if I would teach her. I was really happy that someone was finally taking an interest and said, "Sure, why not?" We had a great time playing chess all evening. The next day when I opened up YouTube, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It looked like Mom had been filming us while I'd been teaching Katya last evening, and the two of them had edited the footage to make it look like she was the professional and I was the beginner. Thankfully, my face was covered, but I was so mad. I went downstairs to find the two of them huddled over their phones and talking excitedly about how many likes and comments they had on the video already. I started yelling at them for being a bunch of frauds. Mom just looked up at me and said, "Listen, the video is already out and people love it. They can hardly believe that a beautiful girl like Katya is such a genius. So, here's our plan. You keep doing your crazy thing and practice chess and play online, and Katya will record you and post videos. It'll only be like 3 videos a week." Seriously? Mom was just shameless. Why on earth would I do that? Because we'll give you your share of the money, and then you can finally leave for good. I don't care if you do, but only after your sister is famous. Okay, that sounded fair to me. So I shook hands with her on it. It was a deal. Things went fine for a while. I was doing what I loved, and my sister kept making videos of me and uploading them. The channel was getting more popular, and Katya was getting really famous. I finally had the peace and quiet I always dreamed of. Most evenings, I was busy studying in the library and working on my plan to get out of here. One night, I got a letter and started screaming with joy. When Mom asked me why, I told her that I'd been accepted for a scholarship and I was going to China as an exchange student. I thought Mom wouldn't even care. But she went completely nuts. She tried snatching the letter from me, but I quickly slipped it inside my shirt. She kept shouting that I couldn't go and just leave all of her hard work she had put into making the channel famous. But I wasn't listening to her nonsense anymore. I was done, and I was leaving. The blind man is really unwell. He's asking for you, Mia. He needs his little friend. I felt shocked and immediately ran out of the house to go see him. When I reached his place, the front door was half open. I walked inside, and it was all dark. I kept calling his name, but there was no response. After I'd searched the whole house, I left feeling really worried. When I got back home, Katya went down on her knees and started crying, begging me to stay. I turned to Mom and asked her what had happened to the blind man. Oh, he's fine. He doesn't live at that address anymore. And I just said all that stuff, so I had a chance to tear up your passport. As I stared at it in horror, every horrible thing she'd ever said and done came rushing back to me, and I just snapped. I leapt forward to attack her, but Katya stood up quickly and came between us. Suddenly, Mom said that she felt dizzy and fell back on the couch. I need a doctor. When the doctor came and examined Mom, he told us something really shocking. Mom had broken heart syndrome. She needed really good care, and we had to make sure she didn't have any stress. As I sat by her bedside, she took my hand and started crying and apologizing for everything she'd done. She sobbed that it was only because I reminded her so much of Dad. At that moment, I felt really sorry for her. Then she showed me the heart-shaped necklace she'd been wearing for years. Looking at it closely, I was shocked to see my name carved on it. See, my precious daughter, I've always loved you, but I was never any good at expressing my emotions. I cherish you so much. Please forgive me. I hugged my mom and cried on her chest. From that day on, I just wanted to make Mom happy. I went back to making chess videos with Katya, and I started participating in more competitions and made a lot of money. The smile on Mom's face was everything for me. After I graduated from high school at 16, I had a really important international competition coming up. I practiced with the blind man day after day, and I told him I really needed to win this for Mom. He looked at me solemnly and said, "Kid, the only person you should work hard for is you. Make yourself proud." I didn't want to argue with him, so I just nodded. He wouldn't understand. I just wanted Mom to be really proud to have me as her daughter. The day of the big competition arrived, and Mom and Katya traveled with me to another state. I was really glad to have them by my side for support, especially Mom. Minutes before the competition started, I felt really nervous and wanted Mom to hug me for good luck. I went looking for her backstage when I saw her and Katya talking. What I heard left me shook. Ugh, Mom, I'm so tired of this. How long are we supposed to suck up to Mia? I told you, not before I make a fortune out of that girl's stupid gift. Why can't you just send her to Dad? You never had to raise a child that isn't yours. That jerk. He left and thought I'd just raise his child for free? I couldn't believe it. I stood frozen in my spot. I wanted to yell at them, but I couldn't even speak. Just then, a lady came and dragged me by the arm, saying it was my turn next. As I stepped on the stage, my legs were shaking. My mind felt completely blank. I didn't know what to do or how to play this game. It felt like the whole world was staring at me. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I pushed out everything from my mind and only thought about what the blind man had said. I had to do this for me. I played the best game of my life. I could feel the audience's excitement as they started cheering and clapping for me. Checkmate. I had won. The announcer handed me a check for $500,000. When he asked me how I felt, I replied, "I've never felt happier in my life. Today, I gained my freedom. As for the money, I want to donate all of it to charity. Thank you." Mom came running to the stage, screaming like a lunatic. "You can't do that, you crazy little brat." I looked at her coldly. "You're not the boss of me. You're not even my mom. You're no one." Just as she was about to attack me, the security guard stepped forward and took her away. Today, years later, I'm a medical student. I'm living my best life and still helping others. And the blind man, he is my best friend.